What is going on, everybody? This is the NBA Guru Show. My name is Zach. This is Naf. And what an ugly, ugly loss again, back to back against the Phoenix Suns, 122 to 106. I mean, it's just getting ugly with this team. There is absolutely no defense. It's the same thing every game. We're just leaving people wide open. They're shooting crazy from three. There's just absolutely no resistance at anywhere on the court, and we have just a stagnant offense, and it's just not fun to watch, man. What's going on with this team, man? I mean, I just want to just start tearing up when I'm watching this.
Listen, man, I told you weeks ago, blow it up. And I'm finally glad to see that the Kings fans are finally realizing that it's time to blow this up and it's going nowhere. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's been going on the past couple games because versus the Clippers and the Nuggets, those were, respectable performances. So I don't know what's going on with the team ever since Monk came back. It just hasn't looked the same. But yeah, I've been saying for weeks, it's time to
You
blow
called
it
it
up.
first, man. You called it first before everyone. I wanted to give it a few more weeks just to see if we can keep the some winning up. We didn't, and now it's time to say tank it. Let's try not to lose the pick somehow. Just keep losing every game. Try to be that 11th seed so we can keep our pick. Because once we're in that top 10, we're losing our pick. So if we get the 11th pick, we can keep it for at least the year after. Try to tank and keep it away from the Hawks because we don't want to give it to them. Because if we're top 10 this year, we will lose it. So if we're in the bottom five in the West, we'll keep it. Then next year we're probably going to be bad, right? And it's a top 10 protected next year. So if we lose that, or if we're bad, we won't lose that. So
If you're bad enough, you're not going to lose
yeah,
that pick
yeah,
because
exactly.
you're like
And
bottom
then
6, 7. You would have to jump almost 3 teams, which isn't going to happen.
right, and then the year after, it turns into a couple second rounders
Yeah.
from
Which
Atlanta
who
for
cares?
Atlanta's. Yeah,
They can
which
have
is
that.
yeah, exactly. So I think it's time to get it going. I mean, it would absolutely be disastrous if we lose our pick and just not even make the play in, or I mean, sorry, the playoffs. I mean that would be the worst situation for the Kings and the team. And I don't know what Vivek is doing right now. I seriously think he was part of this Zach LaVine thing to try to stay relevant. It's cost us everything. I wanted some young pieces. I wanted a Vassell. I wanted a Sohan. I wanted a Hawks pick. Didn't get any of those. It's just starting to get really, really ugly. I don't know if Vivek was part of the Mike Brown firing. He probably was, to be honest. But I think there is still a lot of blame on McNair. I'm definitely giving a lot of blame to McNair as well. But it's time to start things over, man. Get a couple firsts for Sabonis, a couple seconds for DeMar. I know we're not going to get anything for Levine, but just try your heart out. I don't know what you got to do to
But
get
why
him out of
aren't you
here.
going to get everything? Explain to the people why you won't get much for Levine.
Levine is almost a $50 million contract that nobody wants. Chicago has been trying to trade him for a couple years now and haven't gotten anything for him. They got like Kevin Herter and Zach Collins and a couple bad contracts, in that Fox trade last month. So that's all you're probably going to get again. So you're just not going to get much from this team for Levine. But just try to get just get anything. Just get 3 crappy contracts. Maybe one of them is like in their mid-20s, just something that's like a 10% chance of potential. Just get them off this team so we can play poorly. And I'm just over it. This team is poorly constructed. We don't have a point guard, and we shouldn't try because our main 4 guys, Monk, Levine, DeMar, Sabonis, they do not play any defense. And I need defense if we're playing in the NBA.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Levine trade was terrible by Monty McNair. And right here, X Factor, I'll bring up his comment. Kings are so awful they'll draft a bum even with a decent pick based on their draft history, which goes back to the GM. So it might be time to look at new options, look at a new GM coach tandem to really take the organization in a different direction, and for Vivek to be a completely hands-off owner. I think that's the only way for the Kings to really turn this around. Like you said, why would you trade for Zach LaVine if his contract was that untradeable in the first place? Did you really think like people joke that they're the Sacramento Bulls? So I mean, and the Bulls have been kind of in the same scenario. always been in the middle of the pack, NBA purgatory, always making the play in, and I think they finally sort of decided to go full tank mode. You either go full tank mode or you go all in. So, like you said, you don't want to make the play in. And if you guys make the play in, how confident are you really in making the playoffs? You just
Right.
lost to the Suns team that is
By
weak.
16.
So,
It could have been worse.
and they will probably jump up to the 10 seed. So they'll probably be the team that you're gonna play in in the play in. So they did shoot. I did see they did shoot 55% from three, and the Kings shot
It's a,
55%. But Monk shooting more shots than anyone on the court when there's Booker, Durant, Levine, DeRozan is insane.
this
That
is yeah.
yeah, Levine, DeRozan is insane.
This
That
is yeah.
yeah,
No, I was gonna say this is you brought up a good point. This is the third time I think in a row, third, fourth that the other team has shot around 55% from three. I got to get some stats, but that's pretty much around it, about 50% from three for the other team. It's been happening all year, and it's just getting worse and worse. I don't know if Monk's just still hurt. Looks like Matthew here. It's sad how Monk looks now. It is true. He's just turning the ball over. Can't make a bucket. I think he was 0 for 8, I want to say, from three. Yeah, he was 0 for
yeah,
8.
for 18 from the field.
Yeah,
Um,
4
like I
turnovers.
said, they looked good before Monk versus the Nuggets and the Clippers, and then when Monk came back, it's kind of just been a shit show. So
Let's see here. Matthew again saying going for Levine instead of a point guard size. Honestly, yeah. It's just they just wanted to stay relevant, and Levine was the
right,
only guy. Levine was the only guy that's on the market right now um, that they could stay relevant. In quotes there, but it's just tough to see, man. Like Matthew saying, like the front office, the owners. I don't know what they're seeing. I know they wanted to stay relevant when Fox was gone, but you kind of had to take the L on that one. Like you just had to you had to get young pieces,
yeah.
and you just had to try to reset a little bit.
I mean, looking back at that Fox deal, even in the moment, we you could tell it was just not a good return for Sacramento. I mean, Levine, and they didn't get any young pieces. They didn't even get the Hawks pick, which is really what if they would have at least got the Hawks pick from San Antonio, you know, you could have been cooking something up there. So I don't know if that's GM incompetence on Monty McNair's part, but you have to get more. I mean, I guess you could have held Fox and then trade him in the summer, but I don't know. Maybe you could have just played at least. I feel like they sort of bent over to Fox's demands. He wanted to go to San Antonio, and then they almost. I think I saw a report actually while the trades were going on that San Antonio said either take this deal or leave it, and I feel like they just caved in at the end of the day. Sacramento did, which is not how you negotiate in the NBA. So,
It's tough. I want to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. De'Aaron Fox did handcuff this team. He
yeah,
handcuffed them very, very hard. And if you go into the summer and say, "Hey, we got De'Aaron Fox. Anybody want him? He's a 1 year rental. What are you guys going to give us? Oh, you guys are going to give us this piece of crap and this piece of crap." Then that's not going to work. I do honestly think that probably was the best offer. I wish we just would have gotten like a Vassell or like one young piece or something instead of
Sohan or
Levine.
Vassell.
Yeah,
Obviously, they're not going to trade Castle, but you could at least
yeah,
Sohan would have been a nice piece, like you
yeah.
said. I like
Anything.
Vassell's game, something,
Yeah,
you know.
even just to like kind of like because like Levine kind of state makes you at least win a little bit. Like if you get Vassell, like you probably like are below a 500 team, continue to tank a little bit and tank even more the year after, and just keep holding on to that pick that's supposed to be going to the Hawks. Sutton, he's saying it. Blow this ish up. I agree with it. We both.
I've been saying it, brother.
Naf was the first one. He wanted to do
No,
it
I
from the
wasn't the
jump
first one.
start.
I was
Uh,
there was probably people me.
I wanted to give it a couple weeks, but it had it.
And you did give it a couple weeks, to be
Yeah,
fair. But
yeah.
this Suns game, I think, was a key
This is
indicator
the
of just how it's not gonna work out.
yeah. Matthew said he wanted just insane. We couldn't even get CP3. I mean, we just didn't get anything. San Antonio literally gave up on nothing, just a couple of not very good first round picks. Maybe if we get lucky, that 2031 Minnesota pick,
Yeah.
if the basketball gods help us out there. But it's just tough. But I mean, let's just get to it. Like, I mean, if we're going blow this up, do you think we get 2 firsts for Sabonis? If we're let's just go. Sabonis wants to go in the summer. He wants to tell the team, hey, like let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about the direction. I want to know what's going on. And the Kings are saying, yeah, like this isn't going to look good. Sabonis says, hey, I'm out. Can we get 2 firsts for him?
I think, oh, that's a good question. I think they would probably be at least maybe heavily protected or lottery protected, or maybe one heavily protected and then one unprotected. But I do think Sabonis has a market much more
Yeah,
than
I think
obviously
so.
anyone else on the roster. He probably would fetch the most picks. So that I think you start with Sabonis. Um, like you said, DeRozan isn't gonna. I mean, sorry, Levine isn't gonna get you much. So that was just short. Short. Why would you trade for Levine? That was just short term. You know,
Right.
from Monty McNair trading for him. If you can't even flip him or he's not an expiring, you need to gather assets that you can flip just in case things don't go right, which obviously they're not. So
Mhm.
I think they could get a couple first round picks. I think Sabonis, I mean, he did put up a triple double today. So his game is very unique. I think he would have to go to a team that really needs his play style because it could
Yeah.
be hard to play with his type of game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I feel like he'd be good with like with the Hawks or something for like a. I mean, like I'm not saying like he'd go there because I don't know if the Hawks have the picks and they would even do it. But someone like a Trey Young and like a Sabonis would be good, or like a Sabonis and like a Ja Morant or something that would be good. Like maybe Sabonis and JJJ Triple
Triple
J
J.
and
Yeah,
Ja and some shooters, maybe something interesting there. They got to
yeah,
have the money too. Like we'd have to spoke up some money, but I have to go through some teams
yeah,
and see which one would have to because it would be a team that's kind of in the loop, try to get that level up with Sabonis and trade 2 firsts for him. Can we? What do you think Demar's worth? Do you think he's worth 2 or 3 seconds? He's got to be at least worth 2 seconds, right?
yeah. He's
Like
at least
Dennis Schroeder was worth like 2 seconds.
yeah. And DeMar is what 36, I think. But
Yeah.
he still has it. He still has that mid range efficiency.
Mhm.
He's the most probably the most lethal mid range shooter in the game in my opinion.
Mhm.
So I think a team could use him, but it just depends on. I think you could get 2 seconds for him. You won't get a first for him. I also
No,
think
no.
that you have to match obviously the contracts,
Yeah, yeah.
and we could fire up the trade machine. But also you can maybe get some young pieces if you're looking at a team that needs a win now type of player. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe I don't know if the Rockets would need his profile or someone like that. But yeah, you could get 2 seconds for DeRozan, in my opinion. If I was a team that needed a savvy vet
Right.
that can score, I would trade 2 seconds for DeRozan. I don't
What do
think
you think?
DeRozan's been the problem.
No, I think actually DeRozan's been the best player on this team. I actually think he has been the best player on this team in the last 6 weeks.
I
And
agree.
yeah, he's just been playing out of his mind post All Star and even a little bit before that. He's been crazy efficient. He's been making his threes. February he had a great month. He played really well, very efficient. And so I mean he can still contribute to a team for at least a year or two more. So I just think that the Kings need to just try to figure out a way to trade those guys, at least for sure, Demar and Sabonis to start this thing up, reset it. Question and then okay, so like yeah, Levine would just be whatever, like just get anything for him that is like that aren't good players, just anything.
You just
And
want to
then
get off his contract.
yeah, just get off his contract something. And then you get now the big question is, are you trading? Because when you're trading all these picks and resetting, you're trying to go to the draft, have a good pick, and try to get a number one or a number two. Those type of players, like a De'Aaron Fox or Luca. Like Anthony Edwards. Number one.
You mean out of
Establishment.
college
Yeah.
or
So
did you
yeah,
think?
like out of the draft, you want to get someone very good. Like that's going to be a number one. A Giannis if you get lucky, Luka. All these type of players, right? Um,
Yeah, you
Now,
have
do
to
you
hit on
want
your picks. You have to hit on
you
your
have to
picks.
hit on your picks. Now, would you trade Keegan Murray
I would.
for picks because he's not going to be a number one. He's not going to be a number two. He might not even be a number three.
Yeah, I
He's
mean, you
just
heard what I said about Keegan Murray last podcast.
mhm.
I think his ceiling is a role player on an NBA championship team, maybe like a six man. 3 and D. He's a good 3 and D player, but he's not someone you could build around. I don't
Hmm.
think he could really get his own shot
Hmm.
efficiently enough. So I don't know. Well, his value is probably at his highest right now because he will be a restricted free agent after. Is it this year or next year?
Say that again.
Will he be a restricted free agent after this year or next year, Keegan Murray?
I think we
Well, I
have to
think after
start
next
paying.
year.
Yeah.
But either way, I would see what I can get.
Okay.
I would at least shop him. If you could get a couple first for him, then depending on those picks and what draft class, I would definitely and the protections on the picks, I would ship them off personally. And so when I say blow it up, I mean blow it up like Keegan Murray,
Yeah.
Zach LaVine, DeRozan, Sabonis, even Malik Monk. I guess the only people you probably hold on to is Keon Ellis and
Yeah.
Devin Carter. Those are some good young players, cheap.
Yeah. Let's see what Matthew R. His ceiling's MPJ. Okay. For Keegan Murray, it's a decent. Well, I mean, it's tough because
Mm,
MPJ doesn't play defense and stuff.
he
And
won't
Keegan
shoot that.
Murray, yeah,
That's
and Keegan, he's not like a
decent
score. I
on.
think MPJ is a better scorer.
Yeah, MPJ is
Um,
definitely a better. Keegan Murray is not a bad shooter though.
yeah, he's not bad,
But I
but
think
like,
Keegan Murray can. Sorry, MPJ. Like you said, he can sort of get his own looks better. He's just
yeah,
more athletic.
yeah. So it's gonna be it's tough. I would, I mean, yeah. What do you think his? So if we do trade him, what do you think we can get? Do you think we get a first and a second? Like, would you do it for a first and a
I don't think
second
you
for
could get
Keegan?
two firsts for him. I think
No.
you could get maybe a first and a young piece, or a first and a second.
Yeah.
But mm, yeah, I don't think you could get two firsts for him.
Yeah, that'd be tough. I'm trying to do some trades at the same time here, but it's kind of tough to get any with all these apron teams. I was trying to make a move where we would
Let's see
trade
it.
them.
Even if it fails, we could at least see what you're trying to
All right, it's
do.
let's see,
Oh,
try the
Cody.
trade.
Cody brings up one of your remember the King. Cody, this is Zach's one of the biggest. He was one of the biggest MPJ
Yeah,
believers coming out of college. He wanted the Kings to trade down and draft MPJ. Is that correct?
that is correct. I was hoping we can get something big for dropping down from the second pick to the 11th pick and get MPJ and
Plus pick.
some like a couple other firsts or something. But yeah,
It ended
that
up with
was
Bagley. Unfortunately, that
that was
was
tough.
a
That was
historically bad
tough.
decision.
But let's see here what I got here. We got the trade machine loads up here.
Oh,
I mean,
I was gonna say Timberwolves with Randall. I was thinking that, but I don't know if the Timberwolves would do that.
yeah, it'd be tough. A first and Rob
Tough to, yeah,
Dillingham.
yeah. I
Is
think the
that too
money's worth
much?
way too much. The Timberwolves are giving up way too much.
Yeah, it's
You'd have to move Dillingham. Obviously the salaries. Maybe you can make it work with someone else's salary, but if you replace Dillingham, I think they
yeah.
like Rob Dillingham. I like him too. I would not give him up.
Um,
But
yeah, it's
Sabonis and Randall, they're different. But yeah, Sabonis is
Sabonis.
better than Randall.
Yeah, Sabonis is better than Randall. It's to upgrade from Randall. I feel like a pick and roll game with Anthony Edwards
And Sabonis.
and Sabonis will actually be pretty good. And you still have Gobert. Like, Gobert is the thing. The only bad thing is
Yeah,
the
he's an
spacing.
anchor.
Yeah,
The spacing is
Gobert's
bad. That's
the
very bad
spacing's bad.
spacing.
Sabonis would have to start making shoot more threes, but I don't think the spacing's great right now with Randall. So,
But Randall
uh,
has been playing well since he came back.
yeah,
I'll give him
yes,
props. He played well
right.
today.
But yeah, like it's tough to do the trades on the spot here. But we got some more comments here. Flores agrees with us trading Murray, DeMar, Sabonis would be a good start to blow it up. Um, who's on the market we want off season? Also, by the way, guys, if you can like this video, subscribe, do all those fun things. We're taking some questions. It's kind of like a casual Friday, so we're gonna talk some NBA stuff here, and stuff like that. So if you guys have got any NBA Kings questions, keep them coming. We'll share them and we'll answer them. We got a little skit here since Matthew kind of alluded to it a little bit. We'll talk about it right now. Who's on the market we want off season? We got a little. We're gonna go over some NBA free agent coaches, not players, but coaches. We think that the team's got to fire the front office, and that probably means the coach as well. Unfortunately, Doug Christie was put in a horrific situation, honestly, with all the drama. And he actually, I mean, 20-15 with this team actually sounds pretty good. He's getting a little bit too much hate, and he's probably going to get blamed for it even more in the offseason when he probably gets let go.
Well,
Honestly,
that's the thing. Is he gonna get let go?
I mean, I made a bet with Rhino from the If You Don't Like That Grant and Rhino show. Said
Yeah.
in January that the Kings are going to keep Doug Christie for next year, and it looked good. It looked good, and then we traded Fox, and now we're here. So I have a Bennett's dinner with him for that's on the line. But now I'm a little bit skeptical because if we get a new front office, the new GM is going to want to pick his own coach. And I don't know. I mean, maybe Vivek steps in and said, "Hey, like I don't want to keep paying all these coaches." So,
Yeah, I mean, in
but
terms
yeah,
of players, I don't really see any like big stars. Maybe like Zion. We talked about a Zion deal
mhm.
for Sacramento before. Maybe I know Trae Young has a player option next year, but he'll probably stay in Atlanta. I don't think there's any big names. Maybe New Orleans has also, if they blow it up, they have some, not just Zion, but they have some good young pieces. But in terms of players, yeah. But yeah, let's talk about the coaches and assuming that
Coaches.
Doug Christie does not return.
Yeah, Cody brings up the first one that all the Kings fans are bringing up because Vivek wanted him before we signed on to Mike Brown, and that's Mark Jackson. Hand down, man down.
Oh, Mark Jackson. That is, I think he's been out of the game too long, in my
Yeah, I
opinion.
don't.
I think his co-commentator is would maybe be an option for his former
The guy.
co-commentator at ESPN, Jeff Van Gundy,
Yes,
assistant
sir.
for the LA Clippers right now. I think that's
Yep.
a name you could look at.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. I think he'd be still be good. He'd be interested. Look, the there's not going to be. It's a NBA head coaching job, and and like the way that everyone's been handled with Vivek and how we've handled all this trading the Fox and getting rid of the coach, and it looks ugly on us. It looks absolutely ugly as a franchise, as an organization, as how we're dealing with all these players and coaches. But an NBA head coach job is an NBA head coach job. There's only 30 of them, so while there might be a lot of coaches that'll be like, "Hey, like I don't want to be here because it's Sacramento and they just not good." There's still going to be some coaches, assistant coaches that are going to try to land the job because it's an NBA head coaching job, so they're going to try to go for it.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. I think if I were the Kings, I would go that young assistant head coach route. You look at some
Mhm.
of the guys that are in the league. Look at Hardy and Charles Lee at the Charlotte Hornets, who got swooped from the Celtics assistant positions.
Mhm.
So I think you scout the good young assistants. I don't think you hire someone like Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson,
Yeah.
these coaches that have been
Mike
around,
D'Antoni.
Mike D'Antoni. Like, come on, I think you need to go for someone that's young, and I think you need to get a good GM pairing with
Yeah.
him too. So I think if you go that route, that would be, I think that would be the best route for Sacramento to go instead of these retread coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was gonna bring up a Frank Vogel. Like he's on one of those more seasoned guys that probably wants to be on a winning team to coach. He was head coach of the Suns and he won the ship with the Lakers. But yeah, that's probably not the move. Assistant coaches, you could get someone like a Sam Cassell or something from Boston.
Oh yeah, from Boston. You know what's
Yeah,
funny? Actually, you guys had Jordy Fernandez, right? For the New
yeah,
York,
he would be good.
the Brooklyn Nets coach, and he's
Yeah,
actually doing good this year.
yeah,
So
that would have been.
sometimes that would have been it. You guys fired maybe Mike Brown a year too late. That would have been a good hire. Someone like
Yeah,
that.
100%. There's a guy. There's a couple names that the lead assistant for the Wolves, Mika Nori. He's
Yeah,
another one that could be there. He was a finalist for the Cavs job, the Cleveland Cavaliers job.
that's a good
Um,
shout.
yeah, so
I
he
think
could
doing with
be.
the Timberwolves, the Timberwolves also they hired Chris Finch and then brought in, to the Denver Nuggets
Yeah.
named Tim Conley. So they sort of did the same thing, and they
Mhm.
turned their franchise around when they brought in Finch and Conley. So I think you have to go that route. I think you have to Vivek. I don't know if he's cheap. Do you guys consider him a cheap owner?
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
he's cheap?
People say,
Oh, okay. So he's a
it's
cheap
because
owner. He's not willing to cash out.
he's not going to go that much because Mike Brown, he's got to pay him $30 million for the next couple of years.
Oh, see, yeah. I was gonna say you need to snipe one of these brilliant young minds from another organization,
Yeah.
hire them as GM, and bring a good young coach.
Chris Quinn's another one of the assistants from Miami Heat. You
Yeah.
got this guy's not going to come to us because probably Mike Malone has been chewing the Sacramento Kings and Vivek out and the whole
Oh, yeah.
organization. But David Adelman, lead assistant for the Nuggets, part of the offense for Jokic and all them. He and Adelman, the son of Rick
Rick
Adelman.
Adelman.
So
Well,
he would I don't think he I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting if he came to us, the son of Rick Adelman, our best like coach ever. It'd be a good story. It'd be a good headline if
that
he
would
came
be
to
a good
Sacramento.
headline, but you can't chase
Yeah.
the Disney Channel stories, man. You gotta make the best decisions. But that
Another,
would actually
yeah,
be a good hire. That would be a good hire. But
yeah,
like you said, the Nuggets, you know, with Mike Malone there is probably just gonna talk down on.
yeah.
But,
Johnny Bryant is the lead for the Cavs assistant right now. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of options. Cody here says, did George Karl get a fair shot at coaching the Kings? Uh,
did
it,
anyone get a fair shot at coaching the Kings? Is a question. You can say that about like the last 10 coaches.
yeah, seriously. It's tough because just coaching DeMarcus Cousins, you're not going to get a great shot at it because he's just a pain in the butt to deal with, and they were butting heads the whole time, and they didn't like each other and all
Yeah,
that
that was
stuff.
rough.
I mean,
He was putting up numbers though.
yeah, I mean, I think we had the three 20-point scores on that team: Demarcus, Rudy Gay, and Isaiah Thomas. Those were our big three, and I think we actually won like the most games we had in like 10 years or something. So I don't know. Yeah, did he have a fair shot? I think it was a little bit. I think he took a lot of time off right between that Nuggets job and the Kings job. So I think he
Yeah, I think he's
was.
been away from the game too long.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to be a good coach no matter what, even if he had a fair shot. I think he was, and you see him tweeting a bunch of random stuff
Yeah,
now
yeah,
these
he's
days.
gone. He's a little gone off the
Yeah,
wire. Or it's gone a little crazy on social media. What about
yeah, a
Terry
little cuckoo.
Stotts,
Terry
former
Stotts,
coach,
Blazers.
Warriors assistant, former coach of
Yeah,
the Blazers. Now he's a Golden State Warriors assistant.
yeah. I mean, that's another guy that's probably on the market, but he's probably more seasoned and stuff like that. Probably not the route that we should be going if we're going to try to blow it up.
You want like a Charles Lee, Jordy Fernandez, Will Hardy type of coach.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
What
Just
about
some of
GM? I mean, this is a X Factor 12 with an interesting comment. Rich Paul as GM, going the agent to GM like Rob Pelinka route.
yeah.
I would say that would be a good hire just because of connections. But I don't think Rich Paul would take that job.
He just screwed the Kings like a month ago,
He
and now
did.
he'd be taking over his job. That'd be one crazy headline.
He
That'd be
did.
a huge turn of events if that happened. But I actually do think that X Factor brings a good point. I do think that agents that might be the move to be GM just because you have all the connections. I mean,
They
what do you
do have
think
the
about that?
connections.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Rob Pelinka went from villain to hero overnight with the Lakers. So
yeah,
he didn't start off so great as a GM, but he does have the connections. So that actually might have been what landed Luke at the end of the day. His
yeah.
connection with Nico Harrison, who came from Nike. Just don't
Hmm.
hire anyone from Nike or Adidas or to run your operations, and you'll be good. So I think GMs is fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Or free
GM is
agent.
kind of hard to GM. I feel like is hard to predict. Um, yeah, it's just like I don't know who's available, who's on there. I mean, people are saying like James Jones might be fired. At the end of the year or something. I mean, would you want him? Uh, to,
James
to, to James Jones from the Phoenix Suns.
Suns, yeah.
Uh,
I don't think I would take James Jones. I think that even though I don't think it was his fault, I think that the Suns trading all those guys for Beal and Durant was more like new ownership came in and they just wanted to get a big three of their own. So I don't think
mhm.
that was James Jones's fault, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know about former players as GMs. I
yeah, like
know
Landry
Landry
Fields is
Fields,
another.
Landry
Yep.
Fields, and yeah, I was gonna say Landry Fields in Atlanta. He I don't know what he was doing trading DeAndre Hunter to Cleveland, and I mean Atlanta has made some good moves though. I will give them that. The Dyson Daniels deal for one, that's one of the best trades
Yeah,
I've in recent memory. So that one, I think Kyle Korver is actually his assistant too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it could work out with a former player, but it just depends. It depends. I
yeah,
don't know. Depends on who it is. It's hard to just say, oh,
is
former
it,
players either work or don't work.
yeah. Is Nico Harrison gonna get fired this year, and do we take him?
No,
That would
he's
be
not going
an
to get
ugly.
fired. There's no way. I think he won't get fired until at least maybe next year. I think
Yeah,
if you let him make that move, then you have to give him time. I
yeah,
mean, as much as everyone knows it was a bad move,
yeah.
he should be
You,
obviously
you have to double
probably
down with
let
it,
go for such a bad move.
right?
But they're gonna give him at least one more year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, get the disgraced ex Clippers owners. Oh man, this is getting
Sterling.
ugly, bro. This is getting ugly, man.
Donald, man, it's bad. It's almost rock bottom for Kings fans right now, huh?
Yeah, it's not a lot of
I think
positivity.
I think that I mean it's crazy how much it changes just like a week ago.
Yeah, I know.
It was like,
Uh,
you guys were coming off the tough losses, but you at least played hard, showed
yeah,
effort, no Sabonis, no Monk, and now it's looking dire.
yeah, Donald Sterling. That's the guy. We don't want another HBO Max. Or what? No, sorry, it's on
Yeah, you don't
FX.
want
I
another
think
FX series. Yeah,
FX
you don't
series.
want to be in the headlines for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys want to like that, smash that like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We appreciate it. We're kind of doing a casual Friday, going over the game, going over the Kings reset options, going over what Kings coaches we could go for, and GMs and stuff like that. We're just all our
Yeah.
3 words for the day is just blow it up.
Yeah, yeah. Just let us know who you guys would like to trade for in the chat.
Yeah,
Or
players,
like what
GMs,
coaches or
coaches.
GMs you guys are interested in, or if you have any questions in general.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
can't
just
really
looking.
think of yeah, I can't really think. I think we covered a lot of the coaches that well, a lot of the assistants too that are highly coveted. But I mean,
Yeah,
well, you have to let go of Doug Christie in the first place, and you have to make sure your owner is willing to spend money
yeah.
on a coach and a GM. So
Um,
that's step one.
and also the Kings. Just we got to put this up there. I'll put this up there real quick. We've been doing it every day. It's probably getting a little overload, but we just got to share the standings.
I'll
Um,
also share that. Do you know who the first four picks were after Devin Carter? Do you
uh,
remember?
let's see here. Devin Carr was 13. Not off the top of my head. Who
It
are
was
they?
Bub Carrington, Kyle Ware, Dalton Connect, and Jared McCain. So
Oh yeah,
not and those
that's
guys,
tough.
those rookies have looked good.
I would, yeah,
So
it would be nice if we got McCain. He's probably the best of the whole that whole group.
I like
Um,
Bub Carrington and Kyle Ware too.
Khalil Ware, yeah.
Yeah.
Kalel, yeah, I mean he's a good center. We could a nice little backup center for us. That
Well, he would have been, yeah, that's the thing. You guys probably didn't need his profile. Bub
yeah, I mean
Carrington too. I think Bub
we need
Carrington will be good. He just needs to work on his shot.
yeah. I mean we needed a backup center, so he would have been good for us to be honest. But
Yeah, that would have been a
McCain
great
had the
trade.
high. Yeah, McCain has the highest. Uh, what's it called?
You think
Ceiling.
McCain has a high? I disagree.
Who do you
I think
got?
Kyle Ware and Bub Carrington have higher ceilings than
Oh,
McCain.
okay,
I just
okay,
think
okay.
McCain isn't athletic enough. He's a good
Yeah,
good shooter, and I think he's good mid range, but I don't think he's I think if you put like a big player on him, he'll struggle. I don't think
yeah, maybe.
he has athletic metrics.
I'm not to me. I could see that point. I'm not. athleticism is a little overrated to me sometimes in the NBA because
It
I
is.
think it's
Yeah,
just
it is.
it is a little bit. If you're a good shooter, I mean Steph Curry, not the most athletic guy, but if you're a good shooter, you'll find ways to score.
I agree. No,
Uh,
I agree. It
yeah,
is.
but I don't know. Yeah, I mean that's a good take.
Luka isn't that athletic. There's a lot of players.
Yeah,
It's more about like
how
like if you have like
basketball
good
IQ.
deceleration, I think
Yeah,
that's important. Stuff metrics like that too, which I think McCain
uh,
has. He's good at decelerating.
yeah. There's a chance. So if we're looking at standings, there a chance the Kings can, with their schedule, drop out of the play-in and make us
You
happy too?
better Kings fans better pray they drop out of the play-in. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, because there's no
Um,
chance there's no chance they're getting out.
the problem is the Dallas Mavericks have been atrocious. I think they got blown out again today.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think Phoenix will sneak in, but is Dallas going to stay strong enough? I mean, even Portland can sneak in, like Matthew's saying here.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Portland has been playing really well actually, but they are 4 games out of the loss column, 6 games behind Sacramento, and there's only like
yeah,
what 16 games left.
yeah. I mean,
And they're gonna have a tough time.
me and you went over the schedule, and we said 30. We said 30, 39 wins for this team. Can we get there now? I mean, it looks worse and worse.
We did say 39 and 43.
Um, let's see which ones are wins. Memphis. I mean, the way it's going, this Memphis is a loss.
Memphis
Cleveland is
is
a
a
loss.
loss. Cleveland's a loss. Well, did we say Phoenix was a win? We said that was. You said it
I
was a
can't.
win, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. We might have. I
I
said
think
they
you
might
said
be.
it was a win.
Yeah.
So Phoenix, Cleveland's a loss. Chicago is probably a win. That's
Okay.
probably that's like Zach Levine's first game against Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's at home though. So that's 1 and 2. Milwaukee and Boston, Oklahoma City would make it 1 and 5.
Yeah.
And then Portland, ooh, 1 and 6. Orlando, 1 and 7. Man, 1 and 8.
Let's just. I'll give them these 3 wins.
Okay, so 4
So
and 7.
yeah, and
4
then
and
we
7.
lose, the next 4 out of 5.
Okay,
So that's 5 wins. We said is that 5 wins now?
yeah,
Well, it looks. I
5
think
and
Flores in the chat yesterday. He said last show he said 38 wins, and
30 and
now
44. Yeah,
it might be 38. Is that lucky number?
might be 37. We just gave them. So 37, 38. Man, Kevin
Yeah,
Hurt a revenge game. That's true.
yeah. Again in Sacramento, that'd be crazy.
Sacramento, man, what a bad deal. What were the Kings? What were the Kings thinking, man?
2 is such an ugly number for a game. What's he talking about?
To what? Does it mean for like a player?
I don't know, Matthew. We need a little bit more on that one. DSC Suns and Clippers will be at the end. We'll be fighting for something, and it'll probably crush us.
He's right.
Yeah, I
The
think
Suns
so.
and Clippers, I feel like are playing just a level or two, even 2 levels above Sacramento right now.
Hmm.
I think the question is really Dallas, who takes that Dallas spot.
Yeah, Dallas.
'Cause
Yeah,
I think the Suns will get in the play-in, so I think someone's gonna have to drop out. And is it gonna be Dallas or Sacramento? But I don't think Sacramento is. I think they're playing just hard enough to
yeah.
make still win games. And you still had Charlotte on that schedule, Chicago, Washington.
Yeah, some easy games that
There's
are
some
coming
easy
up.
games. Yeah,
Oh, he's
Orlando's
saying we're
at
playing
2 p.m. We
Orlando.
did mention that last time.
Yeah,
So their body clocks is going to be at 11 a.m. That's the
yeah.
first. That's the first road game. So their body clocks might just be a blowout. We'll have to chalk that one up.
Another question here. I mean, I don't think the Kings are going to do this, but it'd be crazy. But since we were talking about reset mode and stuff like that, do the Kings trade Malik Monk?
Yes, of course. You trade it. I'm telling you,
Every
you trade
player.
what you can, man. What is Malik Monk? Yeah, he's good. He's 26, 27. He is who he is at this point. Solid. I think he'd be like a 6-man on a playoff contending team.
Yeah,
I think that's his best role. So I think depending on what you can get, I would trade Malik Monk for sure. Like I said, Malik Monk, Murray. You have to listen to offers. You can't be stingy with any of your players.
Yeah, he has a good contract though, I think, and
He
like
does
he's
have a good
20.
contract, yeah.
He just turned 27. I think he's fine to keep it. Like, just keep something. Like he's the fans like him. I think he'd be okay to stay on this team.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean, you're obviously like, yeah, I'm saying you trade who you can, but you can't trade
yeah,
everyone, obviously.
yeah,
This is NBA 2K, but yeah,
yeah.
he's on 4 years, 80 million. That's a very good deal.
That's yeah. Um, and the Keon Ellis will probably re-sign him. Probably spend 12
12
million.
to 15 million is what we've been
Yeah,
saying for Keon, which is fair.
yeah,
Which is fair.
yeah.
It's a
I
good
think
deal.
and you keep them right. You have Keon and Monk as your two, and Devin Carter as your three guards, and then go from there.
Yeah, exactly. Just play with those three guards and then surround them next year with, I mean, draft picks, hopefully, if you keep your pick, and just get them playing time in the league, man. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Get them playing time. Maybe in your trades, you can actually trade for like a young piece this time around, not Zach LaVine or Jonas Valanciunas.
And maybe you can even try to. I mean, I'm just throwing pebbles here, but like Markel Fultz, just sign him to a cheap contract or something, and just see. He's only 26. Isn't that crazy? He's been
He is
in the
only
league. I feel like
26. He didn't play much. Did he even play today? I don't even think he got any minutes.
Yeah, I think he played maybe 1 minute.
Maybe like 1 minute. Yeah, it would have been nice if you guys could keep like maybe even like Fultz and Laravia.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously Laravia is probably gonna go, but players like
yeah,
that, you might as well give them minutes, see how they do.
yeah. Appreciate everyone tuning in here. NBA Guru Show, Zach and Naf. If you guys got any questions, if you guys could hit that like button, subscribe, we appreciate it. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. It's been
Yes, sir.
it's been a
Let us
tough
know if you have
game,
any last minute
tough week.
questions. It's been tough for Kings fans.
Yeah, it's just hard to really swallow because 2 years ago we were
I know
number
everything was looking all sunshine
yeah,
and rainbows.
bunnies and rainbows, but
Yeah. And
it
then
is
that game
what it
7,
is.
Curry drops 50, and who knows? Who knows if they would have won that series?
And they should have won that series if
They should have won that series.
there's two things. Fox had a finger injury, and I think if he
Fingering.
was healthy, yeah, he would have been okay. And then if Matt Harrison Barnes just makes that shot to go up 3-1, we would
Yep.
have in that game 4. He had a 3-pointer to win the game and go up 3-1.
That's the NBA for you. Just
I
inches
mean,
can change the
yeah, in a
trajectory of the
heartbeat.
entire league. Just look at KD's foot, man. If KD's
Yeah,
foot was behind that 3-pointer, the Nets probably have a title.
yeah. With
Crazy.
Kyrie has another title, and
Yeah.
Harden has a
And
title.
who knows where they're playing now if that happens.
Yeah, things change quickly in the NBA.
They do. It's a game of inches. It's a game of inches.
Cody bringing up one of the last games of that 2020 or 2019 season, I think I want to say.
Yeah.
Uh, Dave Rager's fine. He absolutely blew the game. He could have had 40 wins. Yeah. I remember that. We wanted to reach 40 wins so badly because it was kind of a big deal, but
Yeah.
stuck at 39. And we might not even get there this year.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good for
But
Sacramento, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
always lighter than a tunnel.
Just gotta blow it up. Blow up the tunnel.
blow it.
Blow up the tunnel.
Yeah, if you guys can subscribe, like it, everything, we're gonna end the show here tonight. But if you guys want to tune in, we're gonna be after the game on Monday. Kings playing Memphis at home. Will be on around 10:30 again after the Grand Rhino show. Stay tuned, subscribe, follow us. We'll have some other videos on and interviews and stuff like that with other NBA insiders and stuff like that in the next month, 2 months. We're gonna keep it going for a while here. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and hopefully we'll see what happens with this team.